I do want to come back here as governor and again show appreciation for everything they do. Yesterday I endorsed Zohran Mamdani. I've made it very clear that we have differences, but I also believe that he brings a sense of optimism and the can-do spirit, a positivity that I believe our city needs at this time. I do not agree with many of his views, but running a state government or a city government is very different. It's about making sure that the garbage gets picked up, the streets are safe. You deal with homelessness, you deal with subway safety, which I'm focused on intensely. So, I disagree with many statements, and I've said that. But also, I believe that we need someone who's going to be open-minded and optimistic and have an attitude, a can-do attitude that I share about knowing that the city's best days still do lie ahead.
Kathy Hochul fired a shot across the bow, once again basically telling people, you don't like Zohran Mamdani, move. She said it before when Lee Zeldin was running against her. She said, hey, Republicans, if you support Trump, you support Zeldin, get on a bus and get out of here, go to Florida. That's what these Democrats want. They want working class people, homeowners, people who pay taxes. They want them to leave so that the Zohranistas can control this city. And then soon it'll be the flag of socialism on Wall Street instead of the flag of capitalism. That ain't happening when I'm there.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about more infighting and drama going on within the Democrat Party, a party that is struggling with their identity. Are they going to completely give themselves away to the socialist wing of the party that is currently trying to overthrow leadership, or are they going to stand up for common sense and sane Americans? Now, I personally think that the socialists are going to win, and I think one big sign that the socialists are going to win is because at this point, it seems like the socialists are leading the party, right? Because Kathy Hochul decided that it would be a good idea for her, okay, she's seeking re-election, to endorse Zohran Mamdani. Yes, you have Kathy Hochul endorsing Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York City.
We begin with a major development in the race for New York City mayor. Governor Kathy Hochul has formally endorsed the frontrunner Zohran Mamdani. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Joe is off tonight. In an opinion piece for the New York Times tonight, Kathy Hochul writes she is, quote, confident that Mamdani has the courage, urgency, and optimism New York City needs to lead it through the challenges of this moment. She says she realized through frank conversations over the past few months, she and Mamdani both prioritize issues like public safety and affordability, even if they have their disagreements. Still, other top New York Democrats have yet to formally back Mamdani, including House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon is live in the newsroom with more. Sonia.
Tanya, Zohran Mamdani may have gotten the majority of support from Democratic primary voters, but as you mentioned, many of New York's Democratic elected officials have been hesitant. In Hochul's endorsement in that essay for the New York Times with less than 2 months till Election Day, the governor says she's been having conversations with Mamdani and that in those conversations, she heard a leader. She makes it clear the two are from different ends of the spectrum of the Democratic Party, but that they share some common ground. Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams once touted a strong working relationship. His legal trouble and decision not to run as a Democrat in the primary haven't seemed to affect that, but Adams trails Zohran Mamdani in the latest Quinnipiac poll. It shows the Democratic Socialist Assemblyman with a commanding lead among voters overall. Hochul writes in her endorsement, Zohran and I don't see eye to eye on everything, and I don't expect us to. I will always reserve the right to disagree honestly and to argue passionately, but I also believe that New York State and New York City are at their best when we stand together against those who attempt to tear us apart. Hochul has described herself as moderate and a strong supporter of Israel, but says she and Mamdani are united when it comes to stopping Trump administration policies that could hurt the city, like cuts to Medicaid.
All right, y'all, quick break from the show, because this is important. Look, we talk a lot here about standing up for yourself, not letting big corporations, the government, or anybody else push you around. But what happens when real life hits, car accidents, workplace injuries, medical mistakes, and suddenly you're the little guy going up against a massive insurance company? Well, that's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. There's a reason reporters never run out of breaking news. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They've recovered over $25 billion for 500,000 clients with more than 1,000 lawyers nationwide, and they're built on one simple idea. For the people. That means when you're hurt, you don't pay them a dime up front. They only get paid if you win. And trust me, these big companies have teams of big lawyers working against you. You need somebody just as powerful fighting for you. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. If you're injured because of somebody else's negligence, you deserve to be paid. So if you've been hurt in an accident, at work, or anywhere in between, don't roll the dice alone. You can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. Because at the end of the day, protecting yourself and your family isn't just common sense. It's conservative values in action. Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, some of you may be wondering, why is this a big deal? Okay, why is it that Kathy Hochul endorsing Zohran Mamdani, why is this a big deal? Well, the reason why it's a big deal is because as the Democratic governor of New York, Kathy Hochul is a major establishment figure, okay? She's a major power player in Democrat Party politics. And somebody like her openly endorsing Zohran Mamdani not only reeks of desperation, okay, but also at the same time, it shows you that the establishment Democrats have basically lost. They don't feel as if they can actually win the current civil war that is happening within their party. Because with this endorsement, Kathy Hochul is essentially signaling that, I need the far left radicals, the socialists, I need them in order to win, right? I need them in order to maintain my political power in this state, right? That is what this says, okay? However, Mandami doesn't necessarily feel like he needs Kathy Hochul, okay? Which again shows you who actually has the leverage and the power here, okay? Because Kathy Hochul was mocked after Mandami refused to back governor's reelection despite her endorsement of the New York City mayor's race. Yeah, so this is humiliating for Kathy Hochul, okay? Because again, Zohran is not returning the favor. She endorsed him, right? She endorsed a socialist as an establishment Democrat, a so-called moderate endorsed a socialist. And the socialist is saying, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to return a favor, right? I'm not going to endorse you for governor, but thanks for your endorsement for New York City mayor, right? Again, it shows you everything that you need to know, right? About who has the leverage. Remember, Kathy Hochul is up for re-election, and in her last race against Lee Zeldin, who's Republican, she didn't really do that well, right? It was closer than Democrats would like, okay? So with somebody like, for example, a Mike Lawler or Elise Stefanik, who is speculated to be running as the Republican, then, she may have some problems, right? She may have some issues. So she feels like she needs the socialist on her side. But again, the socialists don't feel like that they need Kathy Hochul, which again is why this is so embarrassing for Kathy Hochul. So let's read here. Zohran Mamdani refused to back Governor Kathy Hochul for re-election after she gave the lefty Democratic mayoral nominee her coveted endorsement. Hochul on Sunday endorsed Mandami in the November mayoral race, claiming to have found common ground with the Democratic Socialists, including on the issue of affordability. But Mandami on Monday declined to return the favor and did not pledge his backing of Hochul's re-election bid next year, at least for the time being. No, they're going to try to find a radical. They're going to try to find a socialist to primary her, right? That's what they're going to do. So, of course, he's not endorsing her. He told reporters it was premature to ask about quote, the thing beyond the thing. My focus is on November, and I'm excited to have the governor's support in that fight for November, Mandami said. The apparent snub raised eyebrows, including from Representative Elise Stefanik, a potential Republican gubernatorial opponent, who said it made Hochul look weak. Even Mandami refuses to support Kathy Hochul less than 24 hours after she endorsed him, the upstate New York congressman said in a statement Tuesday on X. Veteran campaign strategist Hank Sheinkoff said it showed political influence leaning towards Mandami and his fellow far-left Democratic Socialists of America members. Quote, no good deed goes unpunished. Hochul looks weak, Sheinkoff, who runs the pro-law enforcement anti-Mandami super PAC Protect the Protectors, told the Post. Yeah, I mean, it does. It makes her look very, very, very weak. Again, this guy is now leading the Democrat Party. Fascinating. Mandami looks like he's the head of the Democrat Party in New York, not the governor. This shows the power shift. Mandami and his movement are in charge, Sheinkoff said. Yaten Chu of the citywide group Asian Wave Alliance added, Hochul got played. Yeah. This is a big deal, specifically for New York, but also, again, when you look at the national level, again, the infighting that is currently happening within the Democrat Party. Yeah, Hochul bending the knee is certainly not something that they should be happy about. And stuff like this, again, creates more leverage for the Socialists, right? This is more momentum for the Socialists. And the fact that this guy didn't even feel the need to return a favor, again, it just tells you everything you need to know. You would think that a newcomer like him would say, hey, you know, I got this establishment endorsement. I'm endorse her back, you know, and we gonna you know, do the thing, right? And she's going to help me win. He was like, nah, right? Nah, I'm not even going to return the favor. I'm good, right? I mean, yeah, this could backfire because, again, they're going to try to primary her. They're going to try to run somebody to the left of her. That's what Democrats don't understand. If this dude wins, they're coming after you, right? They're coming after your seat, okay? Your power, they're coming after it. That's what these people don't understand. Well, some of them don't.
Zohran Mamdani is driving a socialist wedge in the Democratic Party. A new report revealing House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries could have a progressive revolt on his hands for not endorsing the assemblyman for mayor. Pressure is building for the party establishment to get behind their candidate. New York State Governor Kathy Hochul did this week. Either way, Mamdani may not need any help. He holds a comfortable lead in the polls, and his opposition remains divided. Larry, he's going to win. I think the question is, what does it mean beyond New York City? Does his win mean opportunities for Republicans to say, here's how socialism works, you don't want to have it? Or is he going to finagle his way into something that gains traction across the country? What do you think?
I think he's the blight on the Democratic message.
Okay.
And I think that he will show once again that socialism and big government and all that does not work, okay? I mean, it's crazy. This is if he says if Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu comes to New York, he's going to arrest him.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of crap is that?
Yeah.
All right, and he's a complete anti-Semite, and everybody knows that, and he doesn't back off any of that. The rest of it, you know, substitute social workers for cops, really? This is a great article a week ago. Jason Riley from the Wall Street Journal. You want to conquer crime? Put more cops on the street and in the subways. And I hope Curtis Sliwa debates him well on all these issues. No, it's a blight. I mean, Hochul, who just, you know, she's a little jellyfish. She endorsed him.
Yeah.
He's not going to even endorse Hochul. The big winner here is going to be Elise Stefanik, who's going to be a powerful Republican candidate for governor, in my view. And maybe that will get some change in Albany, which pulls many of the strings.
Larry, I got to say respectfully, I disagree. I don't think he is a blight on the Democratic Party. I think he represents today's Democratic Party. I mean, if you talk to most young Democrats, they think that you do have a right to a job, a right to home, a right to health care, you know, a right to all these things that aren't really right. So, you know, this is a reflection of the education that's been going on in the best universities for the last 20 years. They're the ones that put Mandami in this place in effect. And to your point, I think he's going to win. He is where the culture is right now. So,
yeah, I mean, that's true, right? I think this dude is 100% spot on. Unless Eric Adams decides to drop out, which it looks like he's staying in, specifically so that Cuomo can lose, right? Because he's getting revenge on the establishment by allowing the Socialists to win. If things remain the way they are right now, yeah, he's going to win. But again, he is a representation of the Democrat Party. Even CNN was shocked when they studied this and they found out, oh, wait. The Democrat Party is actually the party of socialists.
You know, I'm not really surprised that Kathy Hochul decided to, in fact, endorse Zohran Mamdani, because the fact is, socialism is not a four-letter word in Democratic primaries, not among Democratic voters. It's a five-letter word in the minds of a lot of Democrats, that five-letter word being great. Look at this, net popularity of socialism among Democrats. You go back to 2010, it was plus 7 points. Look how high it is now, up like a rocket, up to plus 36 points. That's a jump of nearly 30 points on the net popularity scale among Democrats in just 15 years. And I was looking at the polling from New York City, and what you see is the clear plurality of New York City Democrats think the idea of having a socialist mayor is a good idea, matching what we see nationally. The bottom line is socialism isn't a dirty word among Democrats at this particular point. It's actually a word that, when attached, Democrats seem to like it.
That's a huge jump, and that's not that long ago, let me add.
No.
What about capitalism?
Yeah, okay, so if all of a sudden socialism is now a five-letter word, great. What I would say is capitalism in the mind of Democrats is a three-letter word, bad. What are we talking about? Net popularity of socialism among Democrats. Look at this trend. It was plus 8 points in 2010 on the positive side of the ledger. Look at where we are in 2025. Down. Falling through the floor at minus 13 points. That's a drop of over 20 points in just 15 years. So we see the exact opposite trend that we see at socialism, which is up, up and away. What we see with capitalism is down, down, down through the floor.
Okay, we're talking about Democrats here. What about if you look at the larger population, Harry? Is it the same type of thing?
This is where the danger is for Democrats, because if socialism plays in Democratic primaries, it does not play in the general electorate. What do we see going on here? Net popularity among all adults. Capitalism is on the positive side of the ledger at plus 12 points. Socialism way, way, way underwater at minus 18 points. So that's capitalism running away by 30 points over socialism. That is why Republicans are thanking their lucky stars if Mandani, in fact, wins the general election, because they feel like they can play off of him, because socialism may play in New York City among Democrats, but among the general electorate, Donald Trump and the Republicans are saying, hey, look at this socialist mayor in New York City. This is what we're dealing with. So again, something may play in Democratic primaries. It may play in the very Democratic city of New York. But among the general electorate, Republicans are salivating at the idea that they can run against a Democratic socialist being the mayor.
You know, it really didn't take a CNN poll to figure that out, right? Is that not what I've been telling you guys for like the last 8 to 9 months about how the Democrats have become a party of socialists, and they're going to need to figure out if that's what they want to be, because their voters certainly are socialists, right? The Democrat Party, the actual base, they're a party of socialists. And Democrats will have to figure out, do you want to appeal to sane people or do you want to appeal to socialists? You got to pick. They can't thread this needle. Like, you can't do it. It's not possible. But they're going to try to by appealing to the left-wing loonies, and then come general elections, as CNN pointed out, not good, right? That doesn't play well in general election. So again, this is worst case scenario for the establishment Democrats at this point. They're losing, and now you have Mandami pulling a power move over Hochul, a major establishment Democrat, straight power move over her. If he wins, then you're going to have more socialists that are going to be motivated and excited to run against these Democrats, and they're going to win because the base of the Democrat Party are full of socialists, so they're going to win primaries. Established Democrats are going to lose their seats, and then the socialists likely are going to go on to lose in a general election, right? And swing districts to Republicans. That's what's going to happen. And yeah, it's not going to be a good outcome for Democrats. Now, some of these socialists will actually win some general elections, and that would be bad for the country. But, you know, again, what is happening right now is, again, it's a fascinating time in politics. I feel like it's been that way for the last 10 years, right? But I mean, wow, 2025, this is crazy, right? A lot of stuff that is happening. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.